Good evening everyone, welcome back to Piccadilly. It's Sunday night and I've been making these ramps going off the side of the road bridge. Now you might remember seeing this one on the last video, or towards the end of the video, when it was white. I hadn't been long done it. This was made by using the normal splines that I put in, cardboard splines, and then another piece of card going down to represent the path, and then covered in papier-mâché. Now this side, you can probably barely see it, but it does ramp down. Now I just made that out of toilet paper and glue, and it went off within 5 hours. Obviously because it's quite hot at the moment, so it didn't take very long. But once I'd done it, it was a little bit sort of textured, I suppose you could say. So I sanded it down, and then I just went over it with a little bit of filler, and then just topped over that with a bit of paint. I think I will probably paint it again. It is a bit scratchy looking, it's not quite what I'm after. Obviously the footbridge has been temporarily removed, so I can do this, but it will go back on. Now the next thing I'm working on is this section here, and I want to get the whole of this area scenicked up before I start thinking about the building on the other side of the bridge, down there by the way. So looking at pictures, again, please forgive me, I can't show you, I don't want to get into copyright problems, unless anybody can tell me that yes, it's okay, that YouTube doesn't mind us using Google Images. You can understand where I'm coming from, but if somebody can confirm yes, Google Images are okay, I'll show you in the future, but I don't want to get into trouble. Now down here we've got the type of fencing I really didn't want to see, and that's where you've got a concrete post and there is tubes running through the middle of them. So the posts have got 3 holes in, and there is a tube or a rod, whatever you want to call it, running through the middle of each of those holes. Now to do that is going to be incredibly fiddly in N-Gage, but I'm giving it a go. I'll take you to the workbench and show you. There it is. Now that, as you can appreciate, is absolutely tiny. If I bring that up next to a toothbrush, an old toothbrush I might add, one that I'm not actually using in my mouth anymore, also to add, just in case somebody thought that. But you can appreciate this is absolutely weeny. Now what have I done? I've taken some 1mm strips. Now I already had these pre-cut, so I just thought I might as well use them up. And then I'm going to score with the scalpel blade a hole, and then using a 0.3 drill bit. There is my thumb. Okay, so we're talking absolutely weeny. I'll do one on workbench. Now I've zoomed in on this image. Now the tops of the posts do seem to have a rounded edge, so I'm just going to cut a little, well, 2 sides off to make like a house top, if you pardon me, like that. In N-Gage you're not going to notice. Now there are 3 parts, so like you would do with metal, I'm just stabbing where the holes are going with the scalpel blade, and one about there. Now I'm not going to show you all 3 of these because it will be quite boring to watch, but I'm going to take it off the edge. Right, now I appreciate the fact you probably won't be able to see these little marks I've put in, but I promise you they're there. Now I'm literally just going to use the twist drill with the 0.3mm drill bit and just twist it round. It's not the quickest of processes, it does take a short time to do this, but every now and again I'm just going to give it a backwards twist. Thing that need to do is make sure it doesn't burst through the side. Right, I've had one do that, and it's a case of more just cutting a channel and then hopefully be able to disguise it. Now, if you were to try and do this in 00 gauge, I'm sure this would be a lot easier, but still incredibly fiddly. There it is. Hopefully you can make that out now. So the drill bit has gone through the middle. If I take that off, gently twist it off, hopefully you can make out the hole just there. Okay, so I'm going to now drill the other 2 holes, which I've done, which I've marked, I mean, and I'll come back and show you what I do in a minute. There we are. There's the 3 holes cut, or drilled I should say. Now the next stage is incredibly fiddly, as you can appreciate. Now the most difficult part about this is knowing which wire comes from where. So you don't want to get them in the wrong place. So I'm tending to sort of one up, one in the middle, one down, if that makes sense. And I need to get the posts the right way around. I have put them upside down and had to take them all off, which is a pain. Now this is a bit like threading a needle, which I have to say I'm not too bad at, to be honest. Even though I wear glasses, I can thread a needle. Oops, but having said that though, there we go, there's one. And the middle one into the middle hole. Hopefully you can see that. Now I'm finding it easier to hold the metal towards the end. And the third one. Oh, excuse me. As you can appreciate, it is quite difficult to see the hole and line it up. There we go. Right, pulling the wires, get them relatively straight. And that's how I do that bit. Now the next bit is, well, it's easy, but it can be a bit messy if it goes a bit wrong. So I'm going to put that on about like that. Get some super glue, which I'm just using this stuff. I picked this up from Worley last year. There was a guy selling it in 3 different sizes. This was the middle size. £10 I think that was. It's quite a big tub, or pot, whatever you want to call it, bottle. Trying to judge where they come, and I'm trying to get a spot onto each bit and wipe that straight off so it doesn't stick. And believe it or not, it's got it already. Now you notice the first one I did cut, but you might be thinking, what have I used for wire? Wire is what comes out of this stuff. You know, I think there's 16 pieces of this. I think it's probably around about 0.1, 0.2 millimeter wire that runs through the middle of that cable, and it's just perfect for this, I think. It is bronze in colour, and the actual rod itself is silver, but I can sort that when I come to paint it. But there we are. I mean, it's going to take me a little while to get that done, but I'll keep working my way at it. There are a few blobby bits on it, but again, once it's in situ, once it's surrounded by foliage and bushes and all sorts, I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. I think it's going to be more noticeable the fact that it's got that type of fence there in the first place, you know. Anyway, I'll get the rest put on and I'll come back to you when I've done that. See you in a bit. Right, so there it is. All the posts have now been put on, and as you can see, I've actually painted it. So to do that, I sprayed it with some Halford's white primer, just because I hadn't got any grey, that was all. And then 2 different greys to represent the posts, a lighter grey and a medium grey. And then once I'd done that, hopefully you can just pick out that I went over the bars, the horizontal bars, with some silver. I think if you can pick that out on the actual layout, that will be a nice little touch, I think, anyway. All right, so I'm just going to let that dry completely, and then I'm going to cut this bit off down here, and then it'd be a case of trimming, say, every other post down, leaving some longer ones to be drilled into, or holes drilled into the layout, and then they can be poked through to give it some stability. All right, I'll show you that when that is fitted. All right, so there's the fence, as I was explaining, and hopefully you understood when I was saying that every other post would be cut down. So I've got some long, short, and also you might just be able to make out that I've made some holes going down through there. Okay, so my next job is to put glue on each of these posts, and then one at a time just poke them in and put the fence in. I'll show you that. Okay, there's the fence. So what's got to happen now is there's a wall running down this side of the path and completely on the other side. So there'll be wall both sides at that point, wall just this side at this point. And obviously there'll be a wall coming down here into there, and then another one down here, and another one down here, and sort of into there. There is a ramp that comes down here, and I think it sort of sits above slightly. I do need to check the photographs again, but I'm going to concentrate on getting this bit done for the video. Once I've got the walls in, then it'll be flocking inside there and down here, obviously, and then applying some clump foliage and trees. All right, and that will be it for this video. All right, this is where we are right now. All the foliage has now gone off quite hard, and what I've actually done is blended the wall in a bit more now. So I've applied a little bit of paint, and also to the wall, I did the walls down the side here, little bollard which is there. I am fully aware that the path sort of goes back down on itself going against the bridge, but as you can appreciate, the space I've got and the angle of this bridge should be more like that. If I bring my hand up a bit, you can see. So the angle of this bridge against the road is wrong, against the track is wrong, but it's a space issue. Now, I've painted these marks on the road here, and I've used that black, which starts off life as green, if you remember. I'll see what it dries like. If it dries green, I'll go over the top with some model colours, but this is the emulsion, if you remember, that I've used. So I'll just give it I'll give it until the morning, and then I'll look at it again, and I might just sort of tone that down a bit. It does look a bit diseased, really, this road, so we'll see. But anyway, that's where we are now. So apart from the road, as I've just mentioned, the next thing and the last thing on this video will be some trees, which I shall just dot. Probably 3-4 trees going down here. Probably not too many. 3 probably would be about right, really. So 1 here, 1 about there, and 1 sort of about there, really. Well, I'll have a think about it. I may even surprise myself and put more in, but we'll see. All right, I'll catch you in a bit. So there's the whole area complete. So you can see now I've put in some trees, and I decided to put 4 in the end, so 3 big ones and a small one at the end there, a scraggy looking one. And the reason for that is because in this area just here, excuse the finger, this area here, there is a big forest, and I'm trying to emulate that. And there wouldn't be the odd tree here and there, it would be lots of trees next to each other. So hence that. So you can see the little fence I made earlier in the video. There's a lamp now. I'll try and pan you around so you can see that. And obviously a little path going down to the station. Now, I am fully aware, in reality, this path does lead down to the River Goyt, but in my version or in my world, it won't be. That's just the way life is, I'm afraid. You also can see I've had another little go at the road. I did feel that, well, when the black had dried, it wasn't black, it was quite green. So I've gone over this area here now with more greys and pale greys to represent road repairs, damage to the road. Yeah, and I'm quite pleased with that. All right, I'll take you around to the other side so you can see from there. Hopefully that side you can see all that's happened there. Okay, that's going to mark the end of this video now. I think that's quite a bit on this side of New Mills. Now the next part, I do really want to spray re-livery the other Class 350. So I will be getting that done into this silver livery as opposed to the more pale grey that it is at the moment. And so that's my next job. And then after that, panning you across, will be this area here. So obviously there's a ramp to go in here, the station building to go here, and lots of signs. All right, so that's to look forward to and to come. All right, I'll speak to you very, very soon. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do like, subscribe and share. There's a lot more people watching the videos than subscribing, so please consider subscribing, then you get the video straight into your inbox. All right, speak to you soon. Take care. Bye for now.